So stop praying, start strategizing. Here are 3 moves to meet your husband in 2025. Let's get into it. Hey guys, my name is Jumoke Win. I am one half of Win at Love. My husband and I, we coach single Christian women to meet, date, and marry eligible Christian men. And if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure that you do like, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you can continue to get more great content. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. The first thing or the first move that you have to make is to get clarity about what you want. This is so important. And this is important because a lot of women, they want to go straight into just tell me what to do. Tell me what to say. How do I interact with men? Well, men, this, and this. But if you were going on a journey and you didn't have a map, you didn't have a destination, no one can really help you. You're like, hey, point me in the right direction to onlooker on the street. And they're going to be like, they might be familiar with the area, but if you don't have a destination, how can they tell you where to go? So you need to really think about what are you called to do and who would make the most sense to accompany you on this journey. I am so blown away as a dating strategist that women just don't think about these things. And I get it. I mean, especially when we were younger, for some of us who may have some trauma that we never felt comfortable or confident in making our own decisions, but we grown, okay? Especially after your late 20s into your 30s, you should have some type of direction to where you're going in life. The issue is that women have fear, right? Women have fear of making decisions of what is going to come with what I want. And that's a whole different topic that we can talk about on another day. However, it's really important that you know for yourself, what do you want out of life? And then you think about who would make the most sense to come alongside with you and write it down. Not just writing a list of these arbitrary preferences. Oh, I want a man who's tall, dark, and handsome. That's great. But at the end of your life, what is actually going to matter, right? What do you actually need in a partner? That's good for right now. But sometimes, I'm saying, we got to think with a little bit of prefrontal cortex lobe. You know what I'm trying to say? So I would say you need to get clarity on what you want and where you're going. Okay. And the second thing I would say is to make a plan to meet your dream guy. So now we have a destination. We can kind of work backwards and to create a path, right? And you have to think, okay? You have to first think about where would your dream guy be? Women just, I don't get it. We don't even think about these things. We just keep doing the same thing over and over again. We go to the same church of like 20 people or 20 families. We know them all. We don't have any men in our church that we're interested in or are even single and available. We go to work. We only interact with the little limited people that we talk to at work. We commute home. We just watch Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the same routine. And for some reason, we just expect a certain type of man to fall through the sky. That does not make any sense. Going back to my first point, this is why you need to get clarity on what you want. So if you want a man who is maybe more traditionally masculine, if you want a man who is into business, if you want a man who's more artsy and creative, if you are looking for a guy who maybe shares a similar culture that you do, then you need to put yourself in those positions. Now, women get so psyched out by this and they think, oh my gosh, that's so desperate for me to go where a man would be. That's desperate. No, you just have pride. And I always say that it was Eve that was brought to Adam, not Adam that was brought to Eve. This whole he who finds a wife, y'all take it to the extreme. That does not mean that you're unfoundable and a man has to play Where's Waldo to find you. It's like, really look at the sentence structure, okay? It's more of when he has found you, you are a wife. But not that he went looking for you up and down through the highways and the byways and crossed every mountain and desert to find you. When it doesn't make any sense, right? If he's the one who gets to decide, it's the Lord that positions a woman in front of a man, and it's the man to choose and decide who's going to be his wife. It might not make you feel good. You might think that he needs to come to my front door with a ring in my hand, but that's just not reality. So you need to create a list based on what you said that you want. Where would this type of man be? That's A. And then the second thing, you also have to determine based on your capacity, and sometimes we have to stretch our capacity, is the frequency that you are going to be hitting these hot spots. Because some women, they literally just try something one time. Maybe they didn't get the best results or whatever, and then they stop doing it. Or they got some results, but they weren't consistent, and then they go back to doing what's comfortable, and then they complain. That's silly, right? That is silly. If you're going to do something, do it consistently enough, at least for a few months, so that you can determine, okay, is the strategy working or is it not working? It's like getting a job. Are you now going to be like, oh, I don't like LinkedIn. I don't like online job recruiting. I'd rather just go to a job fair. Sure. Oh, I tried LinkedIn once and they never call me back. Okay, right? I applied to a place one time and they never called me back. Or I applied one time and I got to the first interview, but I didn't get to the second interview, so I just stopped using LinkedIn. Do you see how silly that sounds? You see what I'm trying to say? Even though LinkedIn might have the highest percentage of, might have the highest like amount of the type of man or the type of job, that you want, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot just because you tried it one time and it didn't work. So that's the second thing I would say. Now, the third thing I would say is you need to make a plan to glow up to attract him. So women just don't think about these things. For some reason, women just don't consider what men want, right? Men are seen as evil and the bane of all existence, which I don't understand why you want to be married. So when women find out that men have their own wants, needs, and preferences too, they're so shocked. It's always this thing of, oh, my husband should just like me for me. That's silly because you don't like anyone just for them, right? It's like, do you like the drummer or the usher at church that you're not attracted to just for him? He could be a good guy, but he's not offering something that you want. He's not your preference. So why should the man that you actually want, why should he just accept you as you are without you developing any type of social awareness or even forethought of, I think my future husband might like this. Let me try to present myself in this way or shift my mindset or prepare in this way, right? This is really what separates like wives from everybody else, right? Is women who actually think and actually think about their future, think about their future husband, think about the decisions that they're making right now, think about ways to please them, to serve them when they get there because they want to be a good wife to that man. A lot of women are not thinking about these things at all. They just want, entitlement, right? So whatever that case is, I would say you need to make a plan and really be objective about yourself and ask yourself, if I was to be presented in front of the type of man that I want right now, why would he reject me? That's a hard thing for a lot of women to think about. Is he going to reject me because of physicality? Yes, men are visual creatures. They do reject women because they're not attracted to them. Not as much as women do, but men have a certain taste, especially the type of man that you want. Now, every man is going to be different, but you will find a lot of common trends, especially with certain groups of men or certain archetypes of men that you may be attracted to. So, for example, a creative artsy guy, he may not mind if you have alternative tattoos and piercings and you have pink and purple color hair, right? That might be fine to him because he's in that industry and he understands. However, if you're an artsy girl, but you're like, oh, but I want a traditionally provider man. Well, your brand may not actually attract that type of man, right? You may have to do some research, really look into those types of men. What type of women are they dating? And become close enough to what they want, to their type, so that you can open up your options in that arena. Or you can just accept the artsy guys that like you. But if you're like, oh, the artsy guys, they don't have any money. Okay, well then you see I'm saying strategy. You can't just show up and say, hey, everyone, just take me. Dating and marriage is all about equity. So really think physicality. Your type. Does your type have a weight preference? I know this is touchy for a lot of women, but if you are looking for this high quality alpha, godly man, and and even if he's a godly man, he's still a man. So this idea that godly men don't have any eyes and they're just going to accept you because you have a great personality is just not true, right? Like you might have to lose some weight if you are really obese, morbidly obese, categorically morbidly obese, right? You may have to lose some weight. Maybe it might be, again, your physicality. Do you have too many piercings, too many visible tattoos? How does that affect your brand? The way that you wear things. I mean, your clothes, your style. Do you wear things that are more classy? Do you wear more streetwear? What does your style and your whole aesthetic, what type of man does that attract? And if you're okay with the type of man that it attracts, then great. But if you're not, then you have to level up. You got to level up mentally. A lot of women, unfortunately, they think like girlfriends. And you have to shift from thinking like a girlfriend to thinking like a wife so that you have an easier time getting to the altar versus shooting yourself in the foot. You might be cute, but then when a man gets to know you, okay, this woman is not really a wife. She's just here for a good time, not a long time. You get played. You don't want that. Okay. And then also spiritually, allowing God to renew your mind and to renew your spirit so that you can be spiritually prepared for when you meet that man as well. So I hope that this was educational. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you later.